Hi, welcome to Colonial Assam. In this series, we would like to look into the remains of the British era, which is still with us and spread all over the state of Assam and sometimes all over India. We will be looking into hard evidences, documents, and remains of the era to gauge the way of life and how the scenario was at that time. Today we are in a tea garden whose history dates back to the British era, and as we can see that it is way past its heyday. The tea garden is still functional as it still produces green leaves, but the factory which was associated with the tea garden has long since been abandoned. We are standing now before the factory and we can see that it has seen much better days earlier, but sadly it has now remained in such a dilapidated condition. This is the entrance to the factory, and as we can see that it has been locked, and by the look of the lock and the gate we can conclude that it must be locked for a very long time. We can have a glimpse inside by the window, and it is evident that a part of the roof has fallen down as it has not been in use for a very long time. But at its height of production, it must have been a very busy and you can see the law under which the tea garden operated, and it's really sad as to what it has been reduced. Now the lock also we can see is a very old one, maybe dating back to the British era by the make and quality of it, and it too has now become a part of the history of this place. As we can see, even if it is old, it still has retained most of its strength. Now as we moved around, we found the piece of machinery. This must have been the blower which used to blow hot air to dry the tea leaves. This is the part where the motor was coupled to it. The motor is long gone, but we can see the casing of the motor where the motor used to be, and we can see that some name is there as to the manufacturer of this equipment, but due to the time which has passed in the outing, it has eroded a lot. This is the name of the manufacturer, and looking by it we can say that it must be minimum 4 to 5 decades old. There is another part of the plant, and sad to see it in such a dilapidated state, but at one time it must be very busy and full of hustle with people moving around, going about with the manufacture of the tea. The shed which we can see now is the place where the green leaves which are plucked from the tea gardens are kept and then sold to various tea factories. And this is the only part of the factory which is operational now. This is a part of the pillar which has broken down and the inner masonry can be seen. This gives a very beautiful insight of how machinery works were built at that time. Here we are at the tea garden's manager's place, and looking at it, it seems that it is not that old, as the structure doesn't look to be one of the British era. But still, looking at the windows and the construction, it must definitely be of 1950s or 60s origin. Here another piece of history which we found is these old electrical sockets, which are definitely of the 1970s, and is a beautiful reminder of how old this place is. These may not be operational now, but still serves as a reminder of its old days. The manufacturer name is also written on these switches, and I suppose its name is called Babu Pilot. Not a very renowned name. And as we leave the tea garden, we find that while a part of the tea garden is operational, a part has been laid waste, as here we can find that the tea garden has been overgrown with various shrubs and bushes, with tea garden bushes also found in between. But sad to see such an old historical tea garden in such a disparate state. If you have liked our videos, do share it and also subscribe to our channel for more other such videos.